Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are doing swatches, comparisons of the new Chanel Les Beiges Intense palette and the Blurry Green. I'm going to do swatches side by side, and I'm also going to do one look on each eye to give you a comparison of both palettes. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. So as many of you know, I'm a makeup artist and also esthetician, and I now offer an online beauty consulting service, which is where you get to talk to me one-on-one and you get to pick my brain, whether you want to go over the products you already own or if you have questions about something you'd like to buy. The benefit of my service is I don't work for any brand in particular, so I will give you my unbiased advice. So to make an appointment, click the link in the description box down below. Okay, so here we have the palettes side by side here. And it kind of looks like there could be some similarities, some differences. So let's go ahead and do some swatches. I'll start with Blurry Green first. So here is Blurry Green, and what I'll do is I'll swatch Intense here on the other hand, and I'll go like this, and then I'll do some side-by-side comparisons too. Okay, so as you can see, Blurry Green does look much darker here, but I want to go back into this dark green here from Intense because I think that there are some similarities with the dark green in Intense and some of the more shimmery bronzy colors too. I left some space in between the swatches of Blurry Green so I could swatch Intense here close to it and see what comes close. So I think I will swatch some of the more metallic shimmery colors next to the top one here and see what looks closest to it. I think maybe the bottom one. So this one here. These look very similar. I think there's maybe a little bit of a difference. I think this one might be a little bit more warm or like bronzy, and this is more like a yellowish, but they do look quite similar, but the textures are different. I have to say that the formula for the Intense palette feels more buttery and soft. I think Blurry feels a little bit drier just as a comparison, but these two shades do look very similar. Okay, now let's go into the dark color here from Intense. I want to see what this is like. So this one here. And I think I'll also swatch it next to this green one here. Going to add a little bit more just to make sure we see for certain. So in person, I think this pops a little bit more green, and this almost looks like a khaki. Like I think the finger swatches here, you can see a little bit more, but they are similar. I mean, I think this green is more vibrant. It's more of like a dark forest. And these ones are just like dark khakis. But I think this one from Blurry Green has more sparkle, like more gold shift, whereas the one from Intense is more matte. It's like a soft satiny matte. It's not too harsh, but you're not going to get that gold glint in it. I hadn't really thought of how similar these would be until I started comparing them here with you guys. So let's go ahead and keep comparing because I do have some other colors here that I think might be similar. Let's try this color here, and I'm just going to swatch it next to both of the lighter metallic finishes here from Blurry Green. Okay, so again, this looks sort of similar. Let me do another finger swatch here. Up here, they do look sort of similar, but as you can see, there are some differences in the swatches here. And then down here, I think is where we see the bigger difference here. It definitely is darker than the lightest color in Blurry Green, but I'm really surprised with the top colors here. They all look kind of similar. I think the first color from Intense looks closer to the shade here from Blurry Green. Now let's go into this color here. And again, I'm just going to compare it to the lighter colors here. So let's do a swatch here. Oh, that looks really close to it, don't you find? I think this looks pretty close. And then up here as well. Let me just get some more color. So these ones I think look pretty different. Like this one here has like a bit of like bronzy green, but I think down here it looks pretty close. I think the biggest differences are going to have to be with the green colors here. I think that's where the main differences lie. I think Intense overall is much softer. You're going to get more of your bronzy, coppery, goldy shades, and Blurry Green is just for your deeper, darker green colors. Obviously, you could use lighter colors in Blurry Green, but I think that's the biggest takeaway here. And I guess I'll go ahead and swatch the little topper shade here, but I don't think it's going to be very similar to anything here in particular. So as we can see, this is just like a really beautiful light color. Doesn't really look like anything else in the palette here, but it is very pretty and it looks very striped and I like it. So I think moving on, we should go ahead and do two eye looks, one with Intense and one with Blurry Green. Okay, so now I'm going to create one look on this side with Intense and then Blurry Green on this side, and I'm going to focus on the shades that I think look closest to each other. So I'm starting off with this darker color here, and I'm going to place this on the mobile lid. Now I'm doing the same thing with Blurry Green and this dark color here. So even though Intense is more of a satiny matte and Blurry Green is a satin finish, I think that Intense looks softer. You see more of the gold fleck with Blurry Green, but I find that it looks darker. Now I'm going into this shade here, and I'm placing it on the center of the lid here. And now going into this color here. And then also with a finger, I'm going into this bottom shade here, and I'm just going to layer on top of what I've already built here. And for Blurry Green, I'm going into this shade here. Let me finish my makeup and I will be back with you in a moment. Okay, so here is the finished product. Honestly, it's a little uncanny how similar they look. I thought that there would be more of a difference when I applied them on the eyes, but I did mix a lot of the colors together. I think for me, the biggest takeaways are the textures. I think that the textures in Intense are a little bit nicer, which is surprising because I'm not a huge fan historically of the Les Beiges eyeshadows, but the new formula is really great. And I find that it's soft and buttery and a little bit more smooth than the Blurry Green textures, just in my opinion. And I think that the Intense palette has more versatility. I think that Blurry Green, if you want just a dark green palette with some lighter options, this is for you, because the default of Blurry Green is going to be green. But I think that the default of Intense is going to lie more in the coppery gold family. The fact that I put this as the first layer is the reason that we have this look today. If I had just stuck to the other colors, this would be a gold, coppery, bronzed goddess look. It would be very different. Both palettes have a tiny bit of fallout, which is normal, especially with the darker colors. But yeah, that is it. That is the comparison. So sound off down below. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. I used to do these more often. I don't know. I just fell off the wagon and got out of the habit. But if you like these types of comparison videos, let me know in the comments and I will do more of them. Let me know if you have Blurry Green and Intense and if they show up the exact same on you, because sometimes different skin tones do show different colors as well. So sound off down below. If you're new to my channel, I certainly hope you take the time to subscribe and also hit that notification bell on the side so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. So I think this is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.